Hi there. It's late in July. We got some events starting with 1700 to 1775. Begin with July 23rd, 1711. Treaty of Prague, signed by Russia and the Ottomans, ends the Russo-Turkish War. Between the two of them, the port of Azaz is returned under Ottoman control as a result. In 1726, Benjamin Franklin sails back to Philadelphia. 1745, Charles Edward Stuart, the Young Pretender, Bonnie Prince Charlie, lands at Eriskay Island. Hebrides, starts the Jacobite Rebellion. 1764, James Otis publishes The Views on Taxation Without Representation. It is part of the reasons behind pleas for independence from Great Britain. July 24th, 1701, French and soldier, trader and soldier Antoine de la Fonte Cadillac founds the trading post at Fort Pontchartrain. It becomes Detroit, the city of Detroit. 1704, English and the Dutch troops occupy Gibraltar. 1712, battle at Denain or Denay. France under Villars defeats the Dutch armies. 1758, George Washington is elected to Virginia House of Burgesses, representing Frederick County. July 25th, 1722, 3 Years' War begins along the Maine and Massachusetts border. 1729, North Carolina becomes a colony. There's North Carolina, my home state, and South Carolina. It was once called the Carolinas. At this time, it is now divided into two Carolinas. 1758, 7 Years' War, the Island Battery or cannon at Fortress Louisbourg in Nova Scotia is silenced and all French warships are destroyed or taken. 1759, British capture Fort Niagara from the French. 1775, Maryland, the cycle decides to issue the currency depicting George III trampling the Magna Carta. July 26, 1755, Giacomo Casanova is arrested in Venice for an affront to the religion and common decency, then imprisoned in the Doge's palace. In Venice, the ruler is called a Doge or Doge. If you want to correct me on that, you can. 1757, battle at Hessenbeck. French army defeats the Duke of Cumberland of Great Britain. 1758, Battlefleet under James Wolfe takes Louisbourg. 1759, 11,000 British troops drive a token French garrison of 400 out of Ticonderoga, New York. 1760, Austrian troops occupy Fort Glatz during the Third Silesian War between Austria and Prussia. 1775, Continental Congress creates the United States Post Office in Philadelphia under Franklin. July 27th, 1773, Russia and the Ottoman Empire sign a treaty, one of many treaties that they keep signing between the powers of Europe and that of the Middle East or Asia. 1714, Battle at Hangul, the Russians defeated the Swedes. At the same time, British Queen Anne dismisses the Premier Robert Haley. 1720, second important victory of the Russian Navy at the Battle of Green Gum. July 28th, 1708, monarch known as Abenguat II, Sunan Mas of Mataram in Indonesia, gives himself to the Dutch VOC or Concordia East India Company. 1717, a Prussian king, Frederick Wilhelm I, orders compulsory education for 5-year-olds and 12-year-olds children across his kingdom. 1741, Danish Captain Vitus Bingen, bearing on a Russian expedition, is the first European to sight Mount St. Elias, the second highest mountain of Canada and the Americas. 1742, Maria Theresa of Austrian and Prussian King Frederick the Great signed a peace treaty in Britain between their two kingdoms. July 29, 1715, on a routine voyage, 10 Spanish treasure galleons sink off of the coast of Florida. It is caused by a hurricane. This is actually quite common for this to happen to ships during this time period. 1751, first International World Title Prize fight. Jack Stack of England defeats the challenger M. Petit of France in a span of 29 minutes within England. 1773, first schoolhouse west of Allegheny Mountain is completed. Schulenburg, Ohio, Schubrunn of Ohio Territory. On the same day, Santa Marta earthquakes destroy much of the capital, Santiago de los Caballeros de Guatemala in New Spain. Over 500 are killed, 600 or die of disease and starvation. July 30th, 1715, Spanish gold and silver disappears off the coast of St. Lucie, Florida. 1729, Baltimore is founded. 1733, Society of Freemasons opens its first lodge in Boston. 1739, Caspar Wistar begins glass manufacturing in Alloystown, New Jersey. 1756, Bartholomew Bostrel presents the Worth-it newly built Catherine Palace to Empress Elizabeth and her courtiers in Russia. 1775, Captain Cook, with HMS Resolution, safely returns to England at the end of his second voyage. July 31st, 1703, Daniel Defoe is placed in pillory for seditious libel after publishing a politically satirical pamphlet, is pelted with flowers. 1737, Prince Frederick of Wales escapes English courts. 1741, Charles Albert of Bavaria invades Upper Austria and Bohemia. Bohemia is in the area of what is today Czech Republic. 1751, fire in Stockholm, Sweden, destroys 1,000 houses. 1771, Dutch painter of animals, Paulus Potter's Great Ox Herd is sold for at least, I believe, 9,000 in Amsterdam. That's all for now. You have a good one. Bye.